Welcome to the Own Your Best Life podcast. I'm May Emson, your host, leadership and mindset coach. Here, we talk all things spiritual, mindset, business, leadership, and wellness for the modern seeker who wants to align their life with purpose and inspiration. We'll cover career changes, stress management, meditation, energy, intuition, and more. Each episode holds spiritual and practical tools to help you live a life of your wildest dreams without getting burnt out along the way. Ready to live a life on your own terms? This is the Own Your Best Life podcast. Welcome, friends, to episode number 232. We are in the season where everything starts picking up again. I don't know about you, but it is the end of summer travel for me. Just came back from Wyoming. And even before that, it was the beginning of all of those back to school routines. And now that we're heading into that end of the year, we definitely feel the pace picking up. Work doesn't slow down just because your personal life is full. And that's why I wanted to share something that has helped me and many of my clients, which is how to create more time without burning out. Because here's what I've noticed. The busier life gets, the more we tell ourselves there's no way out of it. That being overwhelmed is just part of the deal. But that's not true. You can create time, and I mean real time, not just squeezing in a few extra minutes, but actually changing how you operate so you can breathe, so you can focus, so you can move through your life with a feeling of more clarity and control. And I get asked often, how do you manage everything that you do? And the answer is this: I don't do everything. And I've learned to think differently about how time works. I've learned to set things up in a way that supports the life that I want to live, not just the work I have to do. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So let's start with why time matters. Time is the one thing we never get back. When I had my wake-up calls around death and the importance of the time that we have now, that was so clear to me. Time is more valuable than money, than titles, than recognition. And when I work with clients who are building careers or raising families, or they're growing into new leadership roles, time is always the challenge that comes up first. They know what they want, but they can't figure out how to make room for it. Or even if they don't know exactly what they want, they know they want to have the time to figure out what they want. They tell me they want to grow, but they're also trying to keep everything from falling apart. Sometimes they are either the main breadwinner, or a single parent, or even if that is not the case, they may be the ones that are carrying a lot of the load in terms of the family life as well. So it's like being on a treadmill that you cannot step off. You're moving fast, but not necessarily in the direction that you want to go. And yet something inside keeps saying, well, this can't be it. Something needs to change. So you're here now. So let's walk through how that change can start. These are the same 3 steps I teach in my coaching programs. They are the tip of the iceberg, yet they have helped people create 10 extra hours a week or more. But more than that, they've helped people feel like they're actually in control of their days again. So step 1 is elimination. Eliminate, eliminate, eliminate. This is about being honest about what no longer belongs in your life. Most of us hold on. We hold on to tasks and responsibilities that we've outgrown. Maybe we said yes to something 6 months ago and now it just drains us. Or maybe it's something we think we should do. We want to be that yes person. We want to take everything off of everyone else's load, even though it's not actually getting us closer to where we want to be. And the hardest part of the step is that it often feels like we're losing something. But what we're really doing is making space for something better. When I've eliminated the things that aren't the best use of my time, including work, types of work that were pretty good but not the best for me, I've found that my energy improves, my focus sharpens, and I can actually show up more fully in the areas that matter. The second step is automation. Automate. This is where we stop doing the same repetitive things over and over and we start building systems. It could be something as simple as scheduling recurring deliveries, planning your meals in advance. AI can be a component of this too. We have so much in that space that we're working through and on right now. Or it could be something more advanced like setting up automations in your calendar, your inbox. Yes, it takes time up front to get systems into place, but the payoff is huge. I've done a lot of work within the ops and operations space, and the process of building some of these things into your life will create that kind of feeling of magic or mystery again, because you have a structure that allows you to operate with a little bit more freedom, to give you white space to really show up as a leader even more. And that payoff is huge. When you automate the things that don't require your attention every single time, you are creating more space to think, to lead, to make real progress. All right. Then we delegate. And the reason we have this order is because we don't want to pass on or automate things that don't need to be there. So this is why we first eliminate before we automate, and then we delegate. And I often see that if we do not eliminate before we automate or delegate, that people end up confused. They end up trying to do lots of different things. So getting clear in our mind, which is where coaching comes in, about who we are, what we're here to do, what are our gifts, what is the purpose of what we're doing, how do we become more intentional, is the starting point to know then about this whole process. What are we going to eliminate? Everything becomes so much more clear. So delegation is the final step, and it is letting go of tasks that someone else can do. And I think if you have maybe grown up in a culture where you had lots of people doing lots of things for you and with you, whether it's in your family or you've seen examples at work, it feels easier to understand. It feels more simple. It's like, of course, it becomes almost this energetic minimum and baseline. And many of us have not had that example. And I know I didn't myself. Like, I remember my grandmother being like, what, is someone going to help you clean when you grow up? And yes, that is the case today. So sometimes there is a sense of guilt for not doing it all because you've seen how other people have. You think, you know what, if I want to save some money, I can just do this myself. And that is true. And it works to a certain point. And this isn't about handing off the work you don't like. It's about recognizing what your time is worth and where it's best spent. And delegation also allows other people to grow. I love paying people for things they're good at. It brings me so much joy to know that I am contributing to someone else's life, doing the things that they do best. And that process of energetic circulation of money is something that I firmly believe in, and that reframe and that thought process has really shifted this feeling of lack, this idea that, you know, I need to hold on to all of the things and do it all. And I think there are a lot of things that I can do well because I learn things and I can pick it up and I have determination and work ethic. And that makes it harder sometimes to identify what are your true gifts. So if you're feeling like, but I can do lots of things pretty well and I do enjoy all these things, know that that's also normal. And then we go through with a fine-tooth comb and actually see, coaching work together, what is that toggle switch between the things that you do pretty well and the things that you're best gifted at. And it might not be the things you're spending time on. You could be, this is from the Strengths Finders book, but I remember them giving this analogy, which is like you can be the best piano player and never know it, which means that you're not actually spending time honing and deepening your craft because you didn't even know to do it. So this is why making space, making time, delegating, automating, eliminating is not just a nice to do, it is a must do if you want to feel like you're living a life where you are happy and feeling the sense of almost like, if I die today, I know that I'm expressing as much as me as I can. So this delegation process is about building stronger teams, about finding people's strengths where they are and having lots of spiky people instead of lots of people that all look the same. Yet, we do know that most people are going to struggle at first with delegating because people don't do things exactly the way you would. That is part of the process. The normal thing about, I'm kind of disappointed, it isn't exactly what I thought it would be. Yet, now that you know that, delegation is then seen as a skill. Okay, well, I'm going to practice. How do I get things closer to what I want it to be? So the more you learn how to support people in doing great work, which is all of this training and development work that I do, the corporate work I do is all about training and development. And coaching obviously is also about making decisions and having people move forward. All of that has shown me time and time again that this works. People can learn new things. They can do things differently. And if we are targeted and focused on where we want to support people in doing great work, then that frees our time up to focus on what matters the most. And when you do these things consistently, you are eliminating, you're automating, you're delegating, you will create more time. And more importantly, you will create more freedom to focus on what is meaningful to you. There are probably a list of things that if you had an hour or two a day, you would say, oh my gosh, I already know. I would do this exercise. I would take a bath. I would meditate more. Maybe I would hang out with my kids. Maybe I would spend time with my partner. Maybe I would call someone that I haven't talked to in a while. Maybe I'd finally work on that business that I'm growing. Maybe I would write that book. I would create the thing. I would do the things that don't feel like I have to do, but I want to and I get to and I would love to do. So this is the difference between a life that feels like we're just making it by and we should be quote unquote happy versus a life where you feel like, wow, I get to do this. I can't believe I paid to get to do this. I can't believe I get to spend my time this way. And this is something I go into much more detail inside the Spiritual Achiever coaching program. And it's something that I apply in my own life every single day. It is a practice. These strategies aren't just for people with open calendars. They work for people with full lives. And that's who they're designed for. So if you're tired of being busy and ready to be intentional, this is your starting point. You don't have to wait for life to slow down. This is the perfect time to start now. You can make it happen, and I will help you. If this episode sparked something for you, you will want to join me inside the coaching program. We will walk through this work together. You'll learn how to structure your time, your energy. We'll talk about specifics, what in your life is getting in the way, and how do we support where you are headed, whether or not you feel like you have the time for it now or not. You don't have to do it all to move forward. You just have to do what matters most. So let's get started. You can reach out to me at mayemson.com/contact to set up a call and to learn more about the coaching program. I love you, my friends. I hope you have an amazing week, and I will talk to you next time. Thanks so much for joining us this week on Own Your Best Life. Make sure to subscribe to the show on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts so that you'll never miss a show. And while you're at it, can you please rate and review on iTunes? I would so appreciate it. Share it with a friend, take a screenshot of it, and tag @MayEmson. This helps continue to get the word out. For more show notes and resources, check out www.mayemson.com. You'll have all the links to everything you heard here today. Thanks so much for listening. It's time to own your best life.